Hey, podcasters, I'm standing up. Can you tell?
That means he's taking this podcast intro seriously.
I actually just had a huge stretch, and I was like, why sit down?
If you don't sit up or stand up, you'll fall over.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. Hey, in the podcast today, we encourage you to visit both our RadioU and our RIOT Facebook pages, where you'll find fascinating additions to the podcast.
That's right. So if you go to RadioU or RadioU RIOT, make sure you like and follow both pages so you get notified. Because we also unveiled, I'm not sure if it'll be in this podcast,
It will?
but we unveiled that we've got next Thursday a RIOT game event on our Facebook pages where you can watch us host a special RIOT show. And we're doing our first ever board game edition. We're playing Ticket to Ride.
It's going to be great.
And it seems like already people are super excited.
Well, I'm excited about it.
So that's coming up.
So get used to it, because we're going to talk about it a lot, because at the very least, there's a snack discussion that's going to have to take place.
About what we will be having with it.
Yeah, so we got that. We also talked TV spinoffs, Lacroix. And
Lacroix, yes.
If there's anything in this podcast that is defining, it's the Tim Horton story. We're not going to tell you the story, but you'll know it when you hear it.
And the video is also posted. That's at our RadioU RIOT Facebook page. Watch it if you want. We did, and it's something.
And wow. So you guys enjoy the podcast, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good day.
Bye.
You don't have to apologize unless you've done something wrong.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't even think straight right now.
This is the worst of the riot. We're very, very sorry.
There.
Oh, your music? Would you like Lord of the Rings music?
Well, I can't talk about it without it.
You have to have it.
Just to be abundantly clear. Yeah, there is new details that have leaked.
In the Shire. Is that the right one?
Yeah, it is. About the upcoming Lord of the Rings $1 billion TV series. According to the OneRing.net, via /film, visa whatever. The rumor is that this new Lord of the Rings TV show will open with a young Aragorn and possibly following his adventures with the elves.
It's usually what they do. They go young.
You got to.
It's like, well, they can't actually show, like, from the Lord of the Rings movies. They're not doing that story. It's not like a remake of that.
Well, they say that they're not going to be retreading the War of the Ring, which is what we saw in the Lord of the Rings films.
Which I think it's been long enough you could.
Oh, I totally think you could.
They're not going to put I'm going to say waste that all on a TV series.
Well,
when really it's meant for movies.
Let's be clear here, though, that they bought the rights to everything.
Yeah.
So, like, if this thing goes...
They have it. It's theirs.
They got time. I mean, they have even gone and bought the rights to anything extra that was added in the Lord of the Rings films that's not in the books. They can put it in this TV series.
Sure.
So, like, they literally have the rights to everything Lord of the Rings, except for what? Shadow of War. And nobody wants to see weird Lady Shelob.
They don't mind that
Nobody
one.
wants to see that.
But yeah, it was $1 billion to buy, like, the rights of everything. And it's supposed to be 3 seasons of the Lord of the Rings TV shows.
Is it 3?
I think so.
I thought it was 5. I don't know.
We'll see.
But they say they're going to use the appendices to follow, like, come up with some stuff for young Aragorn to do. And we know that
His
Aragorn...
adventures in high school.
I want you to think Riverdale.
His first love.
Think Riverdale,
Yes,
but it's Rivendell. All right?
That's what exactly they're going to do. It's
perfect.
I hope not. I hope they don't do that.
There's a murder mystery. Who killed the elf? Turns out it's Sauron.
Oh, it's like, who was the ex or, like, the bad person, and they have to find out.
Dude. It sells itself. It's
it
done.
does, but maybe Amazon will do a little different approach.
Rivendell coming to the CW. Oh, you know what I just realized once you said that? Do you know that I've been toying with the idea of when Amazon Prime goes up to $120 next year, I just drop it?
Well, then you're going to miss out on that.
Well, I can't have that.
So you'll have to just keep going.
Well, crap. All right. Until Target gets a $1 billion Lord of the Rings TV series, I guess I'm locked in.
But we'll share more details on the TV show as they develop.
Yeah. Think about this. Aragorn on the internet calling himself Strider. That's my screen name. What's your Xbox Live ID, Strider?
Stop writing the show.
How does Nikki put up with Obadiah day after day? It's easy. We pay her. RadioU.
So I told you we were going to talk about that thing that we never talk about, and that is that usually when something happens and somebody dies, we don't chat about it. But
yeah, that tends to be the part where we're like, well, we'll skip on that story.
So here's what happened. Talmadge Wakeman Delia, he's a 38-year-old man, lives in St. Petersburg, Florida, or he did, until his vaping pen exploded in his face.
It did? It killed him?
He's the first person in the United States to die from a vaping pen.
People have been injured before, and then you have the vaping. Used to be more contested. I feel like that's kind of lessened up, but it's like you have the one side where it's like vaping is the answer to all the problems with smoking, and then you have on the other side, no, it can be harmful to you, not just because of the vaping stuff, but just because of the vaping pen itself could actually be a problem.
Well, a lot of the problems is that you end up with vaping pens that are coming in from overseas and being sold to you. It's the same problem
as the
that they had with the
thingies,
hoverboards.
The hoverboards with
exact
the batteries.
Same thing. It's cheap batteries. It's poor construction. All that stuff coming together to, boom, make an explosion. And so in this guy's particular case, he was using a vaping pen from the Philippines. The Smoky Mountain Mech Works is what it was called. Let me read you one of their marketing lines. Smoky Mountain presents to you sharp, durable, and enigmatic products that blur the line between electronic cigarette and art.
Well, now we have a problem, though.
It also blurs the line between poor construction and hot garbage.
Oh, that's terrible.
In result, the user is provided with an excessive smooth, raw vape. Lose yourself in the billowing sweet mist. Yeah, sounds great. So just a heads up, like if you are somebody that vapes or you know somebody who does, if you're going to do that, you got to have...
Let's just open it up. Let's just say if you are somebody that has anything that has batteries in it.
That's actually fair.
And you have electronics that come from all around the world.
It's worth taking a look at.
And they're like, oh, no, if you just buy it from over here, it'll be a lot cheaper. You need to just remember that can be an actual risk. No one thinks it'll happen to them.
There is something to be said for, why is this one so cheap?
Yeah, there is.
So might be something to look into. But there you go. For a first in the United States, that's not something we're chanting USA
I wonder
over.
how often they've talked about, like, has that been a worldwide problem of more deaths because of it? Even though that's just the first actual talked about one here.
I don't think it's super common. Again, it's the first one in the U.S. It has happened overseas in different places, but it's not...
Just not talked about as much?
You don't hear about a lot. It doesn't happen a whole lot. It's more common that someone is injured, but for somebody to die from it is super rare. But it's the first time it's happened here. And of course, as we have said, recap, even though it came from overseas, you got to be careful with that stuff.
My favorite part of the worst of the riot, when they shut up and the music starts. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
So yesterday we didn't get to this, but I feel like it's worth circling back around to. Remember Zombieland? The movie?
Not Will Ferrell. Woody Harrelson. But then someone made a TV show on it too. Was it Amazon?
It was. Remember, that was one of... Amazon had like 4 or 6 pilots, and you were supposed to vote on them. And man, the Zombieland creator got so mad that his show didn't get picked up because he said that the internet just randomly killed his show. Like, people decided they hated it, and that was the end of that. So it became the butt of a bunch of jokes, and the show didn't get picked up. Well,
so the movie itself was popular.
The movie was popular. I mean, it's been a while. I seem to remember liking it. I remember the cardio thing was funny because he was like...
The running.
He was being chased by a zombie, and he had to run back around the parking lot to get in the car.
So it's talking about like the levels of cardio that you need to be able to survive.
Funny. So they're making Zombieland 2. And it's going to have all the original cast in it.
So who else was in the cast? That's the one thing I don't remember.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Okay. Woody Harrelson, though, I do remember that.
Remember his very disappointing turn as Lex Luthor?
Remember that?
Anybody else?
Has he been soured then for you?
Emma Stone.
Oh, she was in it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Abigail Breslin.
Uh-huh.
Which, that was the little girl. So I don't know who she is these days. Maybe you're like, no, she's very popular. I don't know. Like, I don't know what she's doing these days. But we're coming up on the 10th anniversary in October of next year. And
that's when we'll start working on it?
Word on the street is that there could be this Zombieland 2, October 2019.
Why not? Get a follow-up for everything.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a shame if something just went away.
If something just had a run in theaters and that was it.
I mean, at this point, you just do get that feeling that Hollywood is just like, you know what? Hey, is there any movie or TV show that anyone ever watched? Like, did a couple of people watch it?
We'll take it.
All right. Were they old people? Because if they're dead now, that's no good. But if they were young and they watched it, they're old now, and so they have money, so let's make that.
I also feel like, you know how sometimes you have that calendar that shows you, oh, it's French Fry Day or Hot Dog Day. I feel like for them, they have one that shows you a couple of years of, like, the anniversaries coming up. Like, oh, okay, so Zombieland, the anniversary's in a year. We should go ahead and make something now.
Well, we could make it for $45 million, all right? It's October. People are looking for zombie movies, but they'll be looking for some fun zombie movies.
So is it the guy who still did the TV show is going to be the one who does the second movie, or?
I mean, it does not specifically say that, but I'm assuming that's the case because
I didn't know if his feelings were too hurt. Like, can he manage? I'm
just kind of, all right, this is not fair because Nikki and I have been doing the Riot for a long time, but there's part of me that was like, he's still doing that?
Well, I know.
You know? Because it was like, he did the movie, the TV series didn't work, now he's back with the sequel. It's like, man.
This is what he's known for.
This guy, right, but like, I'm going to have to look him up. Surely he's done something else, right? And to be clear, Zombieland was funny.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, he's got a good sense of humor. I'll look into this.
Sometimes, though, like, the funny comes just because it's like, up right there, that perfect moment, the perfect storm, and you can't always recreate that when they're expecting you to.
Yeah. Oh, hey, he was one of the screenwriters on Deadpool 2, so I guess he's doing all right then.
It's the worst of the riot, because calling it the best of the riot would be a lie. Radio U.
You know, Nikki, sometimes the people in your life are the things that make news stories relevant.
Yeah.
So, for example, let's talk about everybody's favorite Canadian, Hudson.
Hudson? Eh?
Hudson's always dropping his like, oh, but that's Canadian. Oh, I'm Canadian. Canadian. And what does he like to drink? We learned during the fundraiser.
Lacroix. But in some parts they say Lacroix, but others, so now it's just a joke with that.
The drink, they actually have come out and said, no, call us Lacroix, which is why I really want to call them Lacroix. So I saw this yesterday and, of course, immediately thought of Hudson, but they are now selling Lacroix swimsuits based on Lacroix flavors.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So does it look like one of the cans or something?
Yeah, it does. I don't understand it. Why would you want this?
Well, maybe it's just something.
I mean, I will be honest with you. I probably need to go ahead and get myself a new swimsuit for the summer.
Don't know if this is what we're going with, but basically, yes, it looks like the packaging of it.
I want something flirty but full coverage. You know?
Well, your body's not bikini ready yet.
Well, I'm still
you just want a little
it,
something.
You know. So there you have it. The LaCroix, like here's
bathing suit.
The pure, the passion fruit, the cran raspberry. I feel like they should be paying me to wear this.
Yes, it is. It's an ad. You're wearing an ad for somebody.
Why would I put your brand on my swimsuit? I mean, I get it. Like, you know, I don't know, like whatever popular designer, maybe you got a little something, but like this is cheap 12 packs of sparkling water, right? Like, would you wear a Coca-Cola swimsuit?
That's what they also said. There's other advertising sort of suits that have become popular. So there's a Fiji water one and a few others. So you can find some brands that have merchandise, and those will go for $40 if you want the trunks, and if you want a one piece, it's $50.
I guess if you love something enough, you wear it. I've got a Radio U shirt on today. So
they're just hoping that
I paid for that.
That's true, but they're just hoping that it kind of catches on and it becomes popular to wear it, and then by way of doing that, you are doing the ads for them. So congratulations!
You're at the pool. You're hot. I don't know what to drink. LaCroix.
Of course, I will. It does look like you work there.
It does.
You just got one for free.
I don't know. Whatever. You know, Nikki, who am I to try to understand fashion and
complicated world of bathing suits?
I don't know what that is. Like, in fact, I shouldn't be commenting on it at all right now. Like, I apologize, everyone,
If
for
we
bringing this
had
out.
money to burn, and even though it's not too much, we totally should have gotten a pair of swimsuits for Hudson.
And a 12-pack, like, here, Hudson.
Of the matching flavor.
Thanks for all you do.
Here's what you can have for the rest of the summer. You get your bathing suit.
Well, Nikki, thanks a lot for, yes, that's it. She found the use case. That's the one.
That goat farm is looking more and more likely every day. It's the worst of the riot.
It's time.
Okay. This is disappointing. Like, this is going to make you be like, why are there human beings like this?
I don't think so. I think people are going to feel vindicated as Americans because it sounds like an American story, but it's a Canadian story.
This is not from one of us.
And it doesn't get a whole lot more Canadian than being at Tim Hortons.
There's a problem. And this lady I see in this article had previous problems with this Tim Hortons. Mm-hmm. And she had been denied entry or service because of past problems with her.
Yeah.
And they also say that the police have known this lady before. So she is someone who's caused problems, but I don't know if it's ever been in this way before.
So she walks into the Tim Hortons. She wants to use the bathroom. We don't know what they say, but they tell her no.
And you can watch security video of it. So, man, they're arguing. Arms are flying.
Yeah, she starts freaking out. And then she has, like, some leggings and I think maybe a T-shirt or a tank top on.
And then something wrapped around it.
And she's got, like
a jacket.
Something wrapped around her waist. So in the middle of this yelling, she takes off her jacket and she lays it down.
She goes and grabs a couple of napkins.
And does she grab the napkins first?
I think she grabs a couple of napkins and then she backs up. So, like, if you're ordering at a Tim Hortons, there's like a divider. She backs up to the divider, puts her body against it.
And then she pulls her pants down.
It is.
And she... Oh, yep, she does. She grabs some napkins. There's the napkins.
She knows what she's doing here.
She was really, really thinking ahead about what she was going to do.
One of the Tim Hortons workers
but okay, I thought she put the napkins down on the floor. No, she puts them on the thing. She drops her pants, and she pinches a loaf, drops some kids off at the pond,
Super Bowl?
Takes her team to the Super Bowl, but on the floor?
On the floor right there, the Tim Hortons. Mm-hmm. It's not, and you're like, that's...
Number 2?
That's horrible. Oh, it's not the worst part.
Then she picks it up and throws it at the guy.
At the poor workers. And then she takes napkins and wipes everything and then throws the napkins at them.
Throws the dirty napkins at him,
screaming.
too.
And at first, when you texted this to me, I was like, oh, there's not video.
It's not real.
And there is video. And it is real.
Of the
Someone
whole thing.
did this. I felt so bad for the crew. Like, can you imagine being there and someone's doing that to you? Like, what do you do? How do you cope from that or recover?
Well, I'll tell you what I do. I'm going to start eating at Tim Hortons 3 times a day, waiting for this to happen.
I would never know what to do. I'd be like, I filmed it, but I can't even believe it.
Wait, hang on. Maybe this guy. No, he got his stuff.
Not for that. So
all right, we got to come back tomorrow.
This poor guy. We posted it. If you want to watch the video, they blur it out, but you know you see what's going on.
When something drops and suddenly it's blurry, you know what's going on.
Oh, it's just life changing. Life changing. I just don't understand how someone's like that. I can't even comprehend it or get it.
The problem is that Tim Hortons had to burn that restaurant down and start over. They have to start all over.
That's like you bring in the cleaning crew, like if someone passes away and it was terrible. Like you need to bring in a professional.
The dead people, crime scene people.
That sort of thing to make that able to be open for the following day. So, yeah, the video is posted if you want to see it. OB's favorite thing, too, and mine as well, is someone on Reddit called it.
No, it was Fark.
Oh, Fark. They said, Horton hears a poo. Get it? Because the Tim Hortons and the thing. It's great. Someone has a talent for writing right there.
So good.
So there you go. That's your Tim Horton story for today.
I'm just telling you right now, you have to see the video and just make sure you finish your donuts first because once you see it.
I feel like I should go get a donut because I need to support.
You need to be supportive?
Tim Hortons has been through a lot with this.
I mean, I want a donut, but I'm like, I normally get
get
a double chocolate donut from Tim Hortons.
Don't be gross.
I'm not being gross. That's what I get. It's a chocolate cake donut with chocolate icing on the top. That's what I get. And I'm telling you, I can't eat that anymore.
You can't do that.
Yeah, that's over.
You've got to hand it to Obadiah and Nikki. Anyone can eat junk food all day.
Where's my food?
but they've figured out a way to get paid for it. The Riot on Radio U.
You have to see this because it is one of the dumbest things ever.
Well, please send over.
I want to read you the headline. Couple with 3 children sold their 5-bedroom family home and move into a 180 square foot trailer.
Yeah, why not?
And this is what they say. Traded in for life of adventure.
And that's made them happier than ever, Obi.
No, it hasn't.
No.
That is short-term happiness that they're living in right now.
I have a very love and hate relationship. I would like to live a more minimalistic lifestyle without having to live in a caboose. And I have a hard time with these little house shows because it's normally like a family of 20 and they're moving from a home and they want it to bring everybody together. And so they move into like a shipping container. And I have a very hard time thinking it's okay to have that many people in that small a space.
Dude, this is like they're getting Instagram famous.
Yeah.
Like that is obviously their goal. Like that's what's happening here. And all it's going to take is right now their 3 kids all seem to be the same age, but I don't know, whatever. Like, what are they, 4 or 5 years old? Like once they are 6, 7 years old, at some point it's going to be like, Dad, remember when we all had our own rooms?
I need a little space here, please. So they're in a trailer.
They're in a trailer.
They're in an RV that's 180 square feet. It seems bigger than that.
And listen, I get it. There are people in the world that's all they have, and they're grateful for it. But I'll just tell you right now, my mom says to me, like, honey, we're going to live a life of adventure. We're all going to sleep in the same bed. And, okay, you're going to be pooping in the kitchen because it's the only place there is to go to the bathroom.
Well, I'm sure there's a bathroom in that thing.
I'm sure there is.
But not when there's like a bajillion people in there.
I bet it's very spacious. No, you're probably going to the bath. You thought I was joking. You're probably going to the bathroom in the kitchen.
No, I know, because that's what happened in the dorm room. You use the sink for a bathroom. I know that's what happened in the dorm room.
Like, that's the way it is. Like, yeah, it's fine. You just use the sink.
It's the same thing. It goes to the same place.
It's fine. Or no big deal.
No, I just don't like it when it's a lot of people squished into one small area. I feel like it'd be nice if some people have a little bit of your own space.
They are, quote, happier than ever.
Great. I'm not moving into it.
You know what? Can I just say this? The phrase happier than ever is a comparative statement, which means that we need to know how happy they were before.
Sure.
And if they were just shockingly, overwhelmingly miserable, and now they are just overwhelmingly miserable and they've dropped the shockingly, come on. The other question I have is, here's a picture of the husband and wife laying in bed, leisurely drinking coffee.
I know what your question is. I know what it is.
Tell me.
Who's taking the picture?
Who's taking the picture?
It must have been a photo shoot. Some friend's coming over.
Who's taking it?
If not, they got one of their kids knowing how to take pictures, which we've seen before too.
Don't lie to me, guys. All these photos are lies. This whole thing is a lie. Another way I know it's a lie, they obviously have their big fresh coffee. Where'd she get the hat? Why does she have her cozy little hat on? Where'd that come from? No. Stop.
So I'm not a fan of these stories.
You know what? Here's the thing. I'm tired of people lying. Like, I'm tired of it.
You want someone to show what life really is like?
These photos are lies. These smiles are lies.
The trailer's a lie.
And the trailer's a lie. Stop it. Like, stop trying to present something and sell something to me that's not true. At least say it's not true.
What you don't see is that trailer's just on their property and they actually live in the house next to it.
That's exactly right.
All right, so it's not for everybody. Tiny living is not. I
want you to do it, Nikki.
I can't. I don't want to.
The thing is, that's why I want you to do it.
I'd like to have less stuff, but I want my stuff to have space.
All these people that are like, we embrace this lifestyle. I'm finally free. I make $1 million a year, and I'm so wasted with all my things.
How about
I want to divest myself of worldly goods.
1 week, the Riot Tiny House Living.
Tell
1
me,
week.
It writes itself. That's why I think even if it was just you and Eric.
Just 1 week of figuring out how it's like.
And it was one of those things where it's like, here's a woman that hates tiny living, and she's forced to do it.
And I have to bring my pets with me.
I would totally watch that show. I would.
Imagine a world where the Riot never talks and it's glorious Radio U music for hours on end. Now, imagine the opposite of that. You're already there. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
So, Nikki, I'm looking at this list that the AV Club, their website, has put together of spin-off TV shows that most people have forgotten about. Now, I'll have to say there's a lot of them that I don't really know what they are. But there was one called The Tortellis, which was a spin-off of Cheers. I know what Cheers was because I've seen that on TV. Beverly Hills Bunts, which was a spinoff of Hill Street Blues. I do know what that is, but I've never seen it. But it is Hill Street Blues was this cop drama that's really well known for the way the show ends, because it ends with the camera pulling way out, and it's just maybe that's St. Elsewhere. I might be, but it's like one of those shows where like it pulls out and the whole thing was in this kid's imagination. He's just staring at a snow globe the entire time.
Okay.
And the whole thing was like, oh yeah, that's the TV show. So yeah, whatever. Let's see.
Is there anything we would recognize?
Yes. What is something that we've talked a lot about being just popular out of almost nowhere?
Out of nowhere, Friends.
Friends
is weirdly popular on Netflix. Not just in this country, but they were talking about how in China it's still currently the show that a lot of people in other countries use to learn English.
Okay. So what was their spinoff show?
Joey. There was a Joey show, yeah. Weird.
There was a show called Joey in 2004 that was all about Joey. What?
I only remember that because Matt LeBlanc talked about it when he took over. What was the show we loved?
Top Gear?
Top Gear, yeah, because he took over the British version of Top Gear, and they brought up some of that.
So here we go. This Joey spinoff was him moving from New York City to L.A. to live with his sister Gina and her son, and Kevin Bright ended up showing up. Oh, okay. He was the Friends co-creator who went over to write that show. It debuted 5 months after Friends, and it had a huge draw for its first episode, and it really dropped off, and they ended up canceling it. So it went a whole season, though. May of 2006.
That's what it did.
No, have you ever seen it?
No, I have not.
It makes me wonder what it's like. Obviously, it wasn't very good, but like, what? Huh?
I don't even think it's on Netflix.
It's not. That's the thing.
I don't know where to find it.
I didn't even know.
Well,
it
probably
existed.
YouTube. I bet you it's somewhere on YouTube.
Yeah, and let's see, X-Files had a spinoff too, but I don't imagine you were just Can you believe it?
I think I passed on that one too.
Can you believe they had that?
I guess it'd be weird too if you were into a show and just not realizing what you were watching was a spinoff show. But most of them tend to fizzle out right away.
Yeah, do they ever take off though?
I don't think so.
Can you think of a spinoff thing that's ever taken off? Like, I mean,
it always catches up with itself and it just loses.
Yeah,
a lot of viewers.
I'd have to think about it. There has to be an example that proves the rule, but I can't think of what it is.
Remember when we said things couldn't get any worse? We were wrong. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Man, we can't think of a television spinoff.
We don't need to because people just text in their options.
Everybody's got them. Let's talk to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you had a couple of TV spinoffs that worked.
Good morning, by the way. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. What TV shows did you think of?
Well, when you guys mentioned it, I was like surprised that you guys didn't say it, but Better Call Saul,
for
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's a prequel.
That's a good one.
Fear of the Walking Dead, and I imagine I could think of more, but I just got off work and I'm about to go to bed, so it's like.
Listen,
and the funny thing is, go ahead. Sorry.
That's all you need to come up with. You came up with two great options. That's
great.
Plenty. That's way more than we did.
AMC just likes those spinoffs, don't they?
Sure, for sure.
Boy, they do. They do. Well, hey, man, thanks for calling. Have a great morning.
Yeah, I just figured I'd give you guys something to chat about. So
Thank
you guys have a great morning, too.
You too. Bye-bye.
He's right. Those are AMC shows.
Yeah, David and Joel, I think they have shows that run so, less often. They'll split their series up and stuff. So I think they fill in the rest of the year with different things.
Okay.
Let's see, David and Joel both mentioned that NCIS was a spinoff of a show called Jag. So we always joke,
Sure.
Sydney
Sydney knows that.
the entire NCIS. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she needs to go back and watch this Jag show.
We need to talk to her about
So we
it.
should mention that to her.
Rick in Columbus, he says Frasier was a spinoff of Cheers.
Actually, a few people texted that in, too.
And Frasier was like, that was a big one, right? Tim also did. Mike says Stargate Atlantis ran for 5 years.
Mike, I don't know if that's... Coming in with the A game on that one.
That is technically correct.
I know, but you don't need to mention it.
I feel like those you can't mention because that's like Star Trek: The Next Generation, Star Trek: Deep Space Nine. But then I don't know. Maybe it's fair.
Let's see. Phil from Houston, Fear the Walking Dead's been good apart from the regular Walking Dead as well.
I don't know. I see a lot of people online that hate it, but I guess we hate everything. So, yeah, you're right there, Sam's. Jerome says Joey was meh. He's just talking about whether or not he deserved a spinoff or not. So
most people mentioning Frasier or NCIS.
All right, Kelly in Gahanna says Law and Order had Law and Order SVU. They also had Law. Well, technically it is though, because
doesn't all the CBS shows had like the different cities? So like, what was it? CSI
Miami, CSI New York,
CSI Space or something. Like they all had different ones.
There's 2 NCISs, right?
I believe so. So are we counting that as?
I don't feel like those are spinoffs. I feel like spinoffs are
a show ends and character,
then another one fires up. And I mean, granted, that technically they're spinoffs, but they feel like franchises. Something about that feels different.
Yes.
But somebody else mentioned The Cosby Show had A Different World, was like a show that came out of that.
Young Sheldon is a spinoff of Big Bang Theory.
Yep, that counts.
But yes, it's a prequel with it
well,
for the story.
Lisa's dipping old school right here. The Jeffersons was a popular spinoff from All in the Family.
So they did that back in the day, too? They'd make spinoffs.
They're moving on up, Nikki.
It was just an article. It was just an article based on spinoffs from shows, and not a lot of them make it.
To a deluxe apartment in the sky.
Again,
take it, Nikki.
You can't remember a lot of current things that are important to day-to-day life, but you know this old song.
We finally got our piece of the pie.
That's why your brain is full. You need to clean out the drive.
It's fine. They don't offer a reformat option.
You can't.
Yeah, you can't even.
There's certain things I don't need to remember anymore.
It's fine.
The part that keeps me up at night, we paid them for this. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Let me tell you something about the royal wedding. First off, let me quote Edgar Allan Poe. I became sick as unto death.
Because of all the news about it?
Yes.
But I think that's just where we're getting our stuff from.
Fine.
It drives us crazy.
Fine. That may be true. But here's the thing that it's not nice to be angry at people, but like when you're in a bad mood and you see other people having fun, you're like, I hate your fun. And that's where I'm at right now.
Is that where you're at with the royal wedding stuff?
Yeah, they want to get married, that's fine. Here's what I'm mad about. They had today, because there's a 6-hour time gap or whatever.
Yeah, they're ahead.
They're having rehearsals for the royal wedding. Thousands of people are lining the streets to watch the rehearsal.
Sure.
I hate your fun.
Does that sound like fun at all?
No.
A rehearsal doesn't sound fun, nor does waiting to see someone's rehearsal sound fun.
Guys,
so why are you hating that?
Because I hate that they're doing it. Here's what it makes me think.
But it's not a good time.
It makes me... To them, it is. It must.
It can't be.
They're not paid to be out there. They're standing out there watching it. Whee!
Maybe if it was like if you were there and that was your prince or your something or other, maybe it feels more important.
Can we, for a minute, as a society, can we get honest with ourselves for just a minute, please? No one likes weddings except the people getting married. Can we just be real about it?
That's across the world.
It shoots your whole Saturday. It's just gone because you have to get ready. It's never close. No one ever gets married in your neighborhood, ever. They're always like, we're getting married. It's a 5-hour drive, but it's our wedding, so you better be there. So you go on or drive 5 hours.
Gotta buy him a gift.
Get him a gift.
Sit through it.
Sit through the whole thing.
Dress up for it.
And I love this because I've DJ'd enough weddings to know.
But he loves your weddings if he DJs it.
It's funny. When people are getting married, they're like, well, of course people are going to want to stay at the reception for 8 hours. Of course they are. And I always tell the couples, I'm like, look, people are looking for the door the second they get there.
It's like, so just show them where it is.
You really want to move things along pretty quickly. But it's our special day. It is. But I'm telling you, think about this. You've been married for 10 years, and it's the 400th, 500th special day you've been a part of. What do you want to do?
But that's
Go
a
home.
royal wedding. They're going to make a big deal about that one.
Nikki, what I'm trying to communicate is this. If we get mad at our friends for getting married and making us go to the wedding, what on this earth makes you think that I am willing to suffer through that for friends, but I'm going to suffer through that for complete strangers?
Does that mean you're not going to the movie theater to watch the wedding presentation?
Oh, no. I only go to weddings for the people that I like. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. I don't know these people.
No, I know. I don't want to watch it either.
Well, that's why it makes me mad that these people
Why are
are
we
lining the
yelling?
streets to watch the rehearsal.
Yeah, but
it's not
that's-
even the wedding. They're just watching the rehearsal. And I want to grab each one of them, and I want to smack them, and I want to tell them to go back inside.
I bet you
That's
they're-
the line. There's a big line of people down the street waiting for their smack in the face.
They're just there to say that they were there. That's all.
What? No.
They just want to be there for the moment, like to, it's Insta-worthy, just to say they were there at the rehearsal or the wedding.
I was here at the rehearsal. See the billion other people that were here with me and how you can't actually see anything
All right.
on the parade
Listen,
route?
so that's a no from Obi on both the rehearsal and the wedding.
Too
We
straightforward.
knew that anyways.
Too honest.
Well, just a bit much.
Too honest.
We were not even there.
Well, let me ask you this. As we look back on what we've just talked about,
Yeah.
was it the smacking people that was too honest?
That, I think, was
Or do you
the
think-
cherry on top.
Was that
And
the
you
tipping
banged
point, or
the
was it
desk
before?
a lot.
Do you think the banging was?
That's where I was like, well, now he's really emotional about it.
Do you think maybe perhaps I should have just said, I'm not that interested in the royal wedding, but if it's something that you're all interested in, I hope you have a great time.
You could have probably gone in between that.
Somewhere in between?
Not that cheerful, but also not hitting the desk.
Okay. The desk doesn't have feelings. Or if it did, I beat them out of it long
A
ago.
long time ago.
Mornings are for coffee and contemplation.
Chief, she's
Coffee and contemplation.
And the riot. Obviously. Radio U.
You might find, in your life today that you're not very happy. And it's probably because you don't have a Barbie-themed apartment.
I mean, how could you even live if you don't have that?
And the thing is up until this moment, I knew something was missing in my life, and I've been trying to figure it out. I'm reading books. I'm going to seminars. And then, lo and behold,
Someone has the answer?
right here on the Daily Mail, I've got photos of what's missing from my life.
That is quite a Barbie apartment.
Azusa Sakamoto, she's 36, she lives in L.A., and she's spent $80,000 transforming her apartment into a Barbie dream house.
Basically, it's got dolls and related memorabilia for her. She's a nail artist, and, everything's pink. Looks like it.
Okay, say you got blinds in your apartment. Those blinds have got a Barbie head on them now. Not an actual head, but like a painted head with the Barbie logo.
And it's got wall art, and it's all painted pink. She's got to do some major work when she moves out. Major work.
Don't you think
You're not getting all your deposit back.
I would like to think, I'm hoping it's like a condo. That's what I'm really hoping.
Maybe.
I hope she owns it, because I'll tell you this, if the super sees these photos, she's screwed.
She's in she painted her cabinets and everything. The cabinets are painted pink, different shades of it. So, normally in a place you're not supposed to do that.
Don't you feel like her hope is that someone else is going to see this and be like, I want to live there and buy it?
Well, I don't know, or just they want to be friends. So she's from Japan, never had a Barbie doll as a little girl. When she was
overcompensating.
15, she got her first Barbie item. It was a lunchbox, and then it just kind of grew from there. It was American pulp culture to her, and she was attracted by all the Barbie things, and it just grew and grew and grew.
And so my dad told me I could never have a Barbie doll, and now I have all the Barbies.
Something like that, yes.
That's what it
usually
that's what
is.
it
There's
feels
something
like.
A deep-seated issue with it, yes.
So it's
She posts Barbie videos and photos. She has a YouTube channel and social media. So this is what she does.
How many views is she getting on that YouTube channel? Are you looking at it right now?
I'm not, but it just says that she has it.
Okay, because I can't find a link to that channel, but I want to know how many people are watching.
You don't
want to
know. It's probably way more than we've ever had. You don't want to know.
Well, it wouldn't take that many. So here's my problem with this. Honestly, is that I couldn't do something like this because I get tired of the things that I like.
Yeah.
I hit a point where I'm like, you know what I need right now? I need a break from my Xbox. I need a break from talking about the Avengers. I need a break.
You've gone whole hog like this. Like you can't. And you couldn't probably ever admit if you were tired of Barbie stuff. You couldn't admit it because that's your whole social media and your whole online world.
Well, Nikki, she needs to get out of it for the money and get back to telling the truth. She needs to start living her real life right now.
I would wait till the money runs out. Like until you just don't get as many.
I just wonder if she has like another apartment that's black.
It's
like
not
you go
pink.
inside and like it's blacks and grays, and she's like, this is the only way that I can detox from the Barbie apartment is that I have to come into this room where no light enters at all.
She's got a nice nail polish collection because that she does nail art. So,
and
I'd go there to get my nails done.
You would?
I'd be like, yeah, sure, as long as it's not Barbie themed. But I never was really into Barbies too much.
I bet you would go if it was done right. You'd go with a Barbie themed.
Well, I would just being there might make me uncomfortable. It's a lot of pink.
It's the kind of place where it's fun to go in and look around, and then when you leave, you're like, what are they doing?
Like, thank goodness I'm not there. All the time to be there would be a lot.
But for the grace of God, there go I. Dude, it's pretty intense. But you know what? If that's what she likes.
That's what she likes.
Want to know what the Riot is doing right now? Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at riot.radiou.com. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
So what's the YouTube talk?
Well, Nikki, do you ever find yourself watching something on YouTube that you wish no one knew that you were watching on YouTube? Say it's a weekend and you've binge watched an entire new show and you really wish YouTube would forget about it so they would stop sending you suggestions based on the fact that you spent 5 hours.
Sure. Well, like an example would be, I bought you a couple birthday presents on Amazon, and what I bought you does not necessarily line up with my normal shopping on the site. And so you can change and make sure you erase or have it no longer see that, so then my suggestions wouldn't be tailored to what they think I now like. So same thing on YouTube, but I guess I always thought if you just cleared your history or didn't have a history, it wouldn't really do that.
I don't know, but YouTube is starting up Incognito mode.
Way to go, Chrome.
Yeah, so what they're doing is inside the Android YouTube app, so, I'm sorry, Nikki, you won't have this yet.
I'm okay.
It's the first time in history Android got something before iPhone. Somebody write it down.
It must be cheaper.
Yeah. They are actually, they're experimenting with it, like adding an incognito mode directly in YouTube. So if you want to look at something, but you don't want it to show up in your history, you can. Now, of course, everyone assumes...
Or not just show up in your history, but you're right. Then not to reflect what you're going to be suggested.
Right. And again, everybody assumes that means you're doing something nefarious. But to be clear, I use incognito mode all the time.
Yeah.
Because, for example, when I am signing in with my Google account on a public computer, that opens up every freaking piece of Google I got. So I just sign into incognito mode. And that way, when I click out of the browser, that means it's gone.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about it. And I love that, especially when you work with the kind of people I work with that are like, I'm sending emails from Obadiah's account.
Hey.
Blah, blah, blah.
No, but I get what you're saying. You're right. Incognito is nice as a feature for that. So maybe that'll be helpful for YouTube, too.
No, I'm not currently looking at anything on YouTube I don't want anyone to know about. I would invite you all to watch my YouTube history, and I guarantee you'll be asleep in no time.
After a while.
You'll be asleep in no time. You'll be like, what is this?
You're like out like a baby.
Because you know what? My favorite thing right now on YouTube is Digital Foundry. You know who they are? Of course you do. Nikki, you know they're part of Eurogamer?
No?
Digital Foundry does these 20-minute long videos comparing graphics tech between like the Xbox, the PlayStation, the PC.
That's your favorite?
I love it.
Why?
It's this British guy with like a little bit of a speech thing. He's a little hard to understand, and he's British, so he's got the accent. But I'm just like, talk to me, brother.
Yeah,
Explain what anti-aliasing is to me again.
If that If that wasn't an example for Incognito, I don't know what is.
Oh, no.
Well, I'm glad you have something that you like.
I want everybody to sit down and watch Digital Foundry with me. Seriously, if you can last longer than 30 seconds, high five.
That's amazing.
I, on the other hand, I can go all day.
Eats it up. Don't forget, you can follow RadioU Official, and there you'll get what's going on with RadioU each week. Or if you go to our RadioU Riot YouTube channel, it's apparently not as impressive what Obi's normally listening to, but we've got some fun stuff, including our most recent interview with Michael from Red, and we talked to Marty from Social Club Misfits, too.
I really do love Digital Foundry.
Well, I'm glad you do.
It's wonderful. I mean, it's not for everybody.
You need to start with that part first.
It's not,
Listen, it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody, but I like it.
You're not the only one. I'm sure they have other subscribers, so you found a community.
They have a lot of subscribers, and they're all nerds like me that are like, I don't know, is this game really running at 2160p?
If you were offended or disgusted by anything Obadiah said this morning,
if you weren't so dumb, I might be offended.
You must be new. You'll get used to it. The Riot on Radio U.
Hello? Are we knocking on wood or is that the door?
That's the door,
The
Nikki.
door is there?
Hello?
Come on in.
Hello? Nikki, you live in the wrong place.
Where should I be living?
Well, yesterday we talked about how you should live in China, where when you were out gathering mushrooms like you do, then all of a sudden you're like, I'll take this puppy home.
Well, and then there was a case of mistaken identity where the puppy they thought it was a Tibetan Mastiff, which is a very expensive dog. So I bet you they were pretty excited to think. But it wasn't. It was a bear.
Turns out it was a bear.
And it took 2 years. You know what I didn't say yesterday? I thought in the afternoon. Well, that means they never took it to a vet.
Never.
Because the vet would have been like, well, this is a bear, guys. This isn't a dog.
Bears don't need to go to the vet. They live in the wild.
But dogs do. At least here, we're taught that you take your dog to the vet.
Who taught you that? The vet?
The vet did.
It's a business
Big
model.
Vet medicine.
It's a business model. Big Vet paid for all of this.
And so in China, this dog, this Tibetan Mastiff, which was actually a bear for 2 years, had never gone to the vet.
Mm-hmm. How about this? Here's a couple in Pennsylvania, Tom and Michelle. Oh,
they sound nice.
Mm-hmm. So I love this. They spotted a bear about 11 p.m. Sunday night, stealing a bird feeder from their yard because he was hungry.
He's going for a little hit.
And then about 1 a.m. they hear
at the door.
It was the bear.
Is it knocking?
The bear is knocking on the door.
Was it with his little paw or his head, or was he just bumping it?
Little pig. Let me in.
Come on
by the hair of my chinny chin chin. They didn't let him in, but they say that the bear has been spotted one more time in their yard.
Well, he probably needed a refill of the bird feeder food.
Well, my thought is like he busted something open and he was like, this is delicious. There's a big one over there.
It must have more inside.
So what you don't want is a bird-shaped or a house-shaped bird feeder because it gives the bear ideas.
Did they have a camera at the door? Do they have footage?
They do. You can see this bear knocking on the door.
This is why, I have a camera at my door and I don't get anything fun.
Nope,
I get nothing. I get like, someone just pulled in accidentally and left. No animals, no nothing, no gators, no bears.
Yeah, I just sent you the video there if you want to see it.
I'll take a look.
But that's what I'm saying, Nikki, is you need to relocate. And I have to ask.
He really is knocking.
If you heard the bear knocking at the door,
would you
open the
door.
Just like, come in, Mr. Bear.
You're mine now.
I've been waiting for you to come over.
A free bear?
Would you like some honey?
He looks really nice. He doesn't look too big like he'd kill me, but yeah, he can come on in.
I just want to give you a heads up that it doesn't require the bear to be really large to kill you.
What do you mean? Well, if he was larger, then the scratches would hurt.
I just love the idea of you opening the door like, hello, bear. Hi.
Where's your hallelujah music? I'd be totally like, thank you, Jesus. The bear has come.
Finally, my prayers are answered.
I never prayed for a pony when I was a kid. I prayed for a bear every day.
I just wanted a bear.
That's right.
I was so
that
bad
one.
about that.
It's like it wouldn't hurt me.
What?
Well, congratulations, family in Pennsylvania. You had quite the visitor. I would have been all excited about that.
Well, you know what, Nikki? I've said it before. I'm saying it one more time until tomorrow. It's time to move.
I'm in the wrong area.
You got to get to where the bears are. You can't wait for the bears to come to you.
I got to move.
Don't want to talk to the Riot? We completely understand. Text instead. 877-2-RADIO-U.
It is the Riots on Radio U, 8772 Radio U.
Feel free to text, or don't forget, we've got a couple of postings up for your input.
Enjoyment.
We would like, if you go to Radio U Riot, there's a story from a Tim Hortons in Canada. And if you go to Radio U, our Facebook page there, you've got some talk about TV shows that we were mentioning earlier.
As a matter of fact, we do. You know what? Shoot. We weren't going to, but since you just talked about Facebook and unveiling stuff, why don't we just go ahead?
That's what do we got to talk about?
What happens 1 week from today?
From today?
Today's
are we
the day.
mention it?
Why not?
Okay, so we talked about this maybe a month or so ago.
Uh-huh.
We are finally going to be doing, which every so often we do a Riot Facebook event where on our Riot and our Radio U Facebook pages, you can watch us host a special live show in the evening. And so next Thursday, we're doing our first official game night.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Where we are going to be doing, me and Hudson are playing an actual board game.
Ticket to Ride.
We're doing Ticket to Ride. I thought that would be the first entryway into that because these things are super popular.
Does Hudson know how to play it?
I don't think so. So we might have to do a pre-play.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I don't want to learn. I feel like we need to know a little bit more.
I think it's okay for us to not be 100% there because I
feel like we need to look at least at the instructions.
Okay, I've played it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But not enough for me to be the guy.
The lead person?
I don't
Me
think
neither.
so.
I just need help with some of the specific rules.
You know what we should do? It's on, you can get the app.
I have the app.
Okay, just do a couple playthroughs on the app.
But the app has different rules than the actual board game does.
Does it?
It does.
Well, but it still might help you, get a grounding, a footing. Have you played it yet?
Yeah, I have.
On the app?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then you're probably more ready for it than you think you are.
I played the board game and I played the app.
Okay. I've never played the app, though I have it. It was free on Amazon one day or something, so I got it. So I haven't played it, but I've played the board game 3 times.
Sure.
And
I think we should be fine. It's Hudson we're worried about.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, I was worried about Hudson anyway.
So that'll be next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Again, on our Radio U Facebook page, we're going to host a special Riot Live event. So if you follow Radio U's Facebook page, you have to actually go one more step and you click on the notification stuff. If you make sure to actually follow the page, then when we do live events or posts, it'll send you a notification.
Yeah, that's actually why sometimes we go live and you miss it, is because you're not getting the notifications for it. So, of course, I will tell you that we go live, but then we do also archive our stuff.
Yeah, you can always watch it.
Which you can find that still there on Facebook or most of the time on our YouTube channel as well.
Andrew, thanks for texting. He said he loves some board games. This is sweet. So hopefully you'll be watching next Thursday. Ticket to Ride will be our first Riot game night on our Facebook page.
And hey, for the record, you, me, and the desk here, if we're having game night, we need
food.
Snacks.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
I don't know. But it has to. We need some crunchy snacks.
Some Doritos.
Yes.
That would be good.
Yes.
Or we can order pizza. You want to do pizza with it?
I'm sorry. Are they mutually exclusive?
We can have both.
Can you have both?
We'll think about it. We'll come up with some ideas. So next Thursday.
So my Dungeon Master always has plenty of snacks.
I don't know enough about the board game world to know what do you bring.
Well, you know what?
Is it like when I have a Super Bowl party and someone brings a dessert or a
Nikki,
dip?
you just stumbled into either tomorrow or next week.
We got to
do a whole segment. Tell us what we should have for game night.
Well, I didn't know because I don't want normally. I had Cheetos. Those are my favorites.
Well, that's a great one.
How can I play a board game if I'm covered in Cheetos?
Oh, you just lick your fingers.
I can't do that. I don't want to do it the whole night. So we have to have actual.
What, some baby wipes on set?
Maybe.
Or what about some tongs? And that's what you put your stuff out
Could
with.
be. Someone else texted, said, I'm so excited. I love Ticket to Ride. Hope you're both having a good morning. Thank you for texting us. Make sure you include your name so we know what your name is.
That's Jenna.
There we go. I see earlier.
There it is. So thank you, Jenna. And everybody else. 1 week from tonight, we will see you then.
Woo, woo. That's supposed to be the train sign. We need to also get that queued up and ready for next week.
Hey, Nikki.
You have it?
I knew what that sound was.
Did you? I just didn't know. I didn't know if I didn't do it good enough.
You're like, whoop, whoop. That's a train.
I didn't know if you thought I was whooping or was it a train. I want to make sure clarify that you knew what I was doing.
I just want you to know that I got it.
Self-conscious about it.
And I know the listeners couldn't see it, but there was a hand motion too. Like I got the whole thing. For the briefest of moments, I thought you were wearing a conductor's hat. I saw it.
It was that real?
It was that real.
Good. Okay.
It was that real.
All aboard.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
You know, the desk doesn't have feelings.